I used to watch a lot of sci-fi. This is one of my heroes, Tony Stark, aka known Iron Man. So I was obsessed with him. I think you remember when Iron Man came out in 2013, and I was just blown away. And the AI he was building and the robots he was building, and I really wanted to be Iron Man, but And then there was R2D2 and C3PO from Star Wars. And Star Wars is about intergalactic travel and on spaceships and traveling after the speed of light. And I became very fascinated with space. And more importantly, I became very fascinated with the robots. And you also see that they are robots that have empathy and companionship with humans. So I think for me, the human robot interaction part has always been very, very fascinating. And I was a very good student, but I was always daydreaming and just creating worlds in my mind and just always imagining the future and sci-fi and just daydreaming. And that led me to applying and getting and moving to Cornell. It was one of the richest experiences in my life just because I got to be surrounded by the most brilliant minds from all over the world. But I moved from Kenya with one suitcase, my little bag. I didn't know a lot of people. So I left my family, I left my friends there. And I got there and I was like, well, where are my people? But guess what? I found some sci fi nuts, and we would go on the first nights of Star Wars premiere, we would go to the theater and just wait in line to watch the Star Wars coming out. And more importantly, they were also brain researchers. If you really think about it, the brain is like a machine and robots are like machines. So I wanted to understand, how does the brain work? How does our engine work? So we did a lot of research in Alzheimer's and dementia. We were trying to understand, first, how does the brain work? But then secondly, what happens? How does the brain go wrong? And then people get Alzheimer's and dementia and forget. And I did not notice the days go by. I was always in lab, and we did a lot of research and published a lot of papers that have been very useful in the Alzheimer's community. Fast forward to graduation, COVID happens, and my journey was to go to medical school. And my family got into retirement services because we were very huge in serving other people. And I realized, oh boy, I have been doing research in Alzheimer's. I understand how it works, but this is in lab mice. How do human beings actually do it with Alzheimer's? So I started working with seniors, and it really opened me up to the concept of serving other people. But it also got me to realize the problems in senior living and in senior care. For example, so the caregivers are burnt out, there's high turnover. And if you look at our government, we spend $2 trillion in senior care, and yet there's such a huge gap and huge problems in the whole realm of senior living. Anyway, but my journey was to go to medical school. If you're an African kid here, you know the careers our parents have set for us. And I was like, I have to go to med school. So I moved to Boston. I enrolled at Harvard, and I continued doing pre med classes so that I could go to medical school. But at the back of that, Seattle is such a Microsoft and Amazon HQ, and I had gotten to interact with technology during my time in Seattle after I graduated. And it really brought up the little girl loving sci-fi and loving robots. And I was on track for medical school, but I said, you know what? I'm really excited by technology. So with one suitcase again, packed my bag, and I moved to San Francisco, the epicenter of AI and robotics. And I decided to work in robotics. I met my co-founder, Ilya, and we worked and we built some robots and deployed them in the real world. One of our robots was working as a receptionist, making $500 a month. So, robots earning money in real time. After working in the robotics company for a while, I realized, I love robots. I'm obsessed with them. And I've witnessed this huge challenge in senior living. I mean, it's beyond. So I said, there's something that we can do with robotics and with senior living. So I co-founded a startup working with building humanoid robots for seniors. And what do our robots do? Just like R2D2 And three, CPO, they can give empathy, they can give companionship. So there's that human element. When you build robots that are really human centered, there's that human element they can give. At the same time, they have utility. They can do fall detection, medication reminders on all the things that a caregiver can do. We're not really trying to replace caregivers, we're actually trying to augment them so that they can focus on the human centered part of care and the human connection. And then we went to this conference and I met Jen and Allison, and they saw me and they just really believed in me. And I really deeply appreciate that. And they saw the vision of what I was building. So I did my daily breathe. And what came up for me in my daily breathe was, okay, my journey is always following my excitement. I followed my joy, my excitement. I've left the med school path. I'm building robotics. It's my highest excitement. But my question in my daily breathe was like, are you ready to step into this? I think this is your purpose. Are you ready to step into it? And my answer was yes. And since that time, I think when you give the universe a very clear sign and direction of this is what I'm doing, everything aligns to support you in that. And after that time, we have partnered with the best humanoid robotics manufacturers in the world, and we are starting to deploy our robots in senior living facilities across the Bay Area. Our goal is to build our own robots. I believe I want to impart my robots with empathy and with connection, but it does take time. So to navigate that, we have partnered with the best humanoid manufacturers, and we are launching in the Bay Area and doing demos and pilot programs. And this brings me back, makes me want to cry, to my girlhood dream. So I wanted to be Iron Man, I wanted to be Tony Stark, but guess what? Here I am being Iron Woman, a little kid from Kenya in Silicon Valley, the land of AI, building robots and deploying them. So dream come true. And what I can say in my journey and from all the experiences and my observation is, no matter what path you think you have, always follow your highest joy, always follow your highest excitement, and always follow your passion because it leads to your soul's and life's purpose. Thank you.